Welcome to Live and Local, a talk show focusing on the events, people, and organizations affecting the Iowa City area. I'm your host, Brian McConnell. Today we are joined by Judy O'Donnell from the Iowa City Fencing Center.
Yes.
Welcome, Judy.
Thank you.
So first of all, just tell us a little bit about the Iowa City Fencing Center and how it got started.
Well, the Iowa City Fencing Center is a place where we teach the Olympic sport of fencing. We teach all three weapons, foil, epee, and saber. We work with children as young as 5, adults as old as 80. It's a great lifetime sport for that. We got started after I moved to Iowa. I wasn't quite sure what I would do, but people started finding me, and pretty soon I had holes in my basement ceiling, so I decided I had to open up a place that was large enough to really teach.
So what's your history in fencing?
I started fencing probably about 35 years ago. As my first opportunity to do it was when I was in college, and I took a PE class in fencing, and I loved it so much I took it again. And the next year I was on the college team, and after that I started winning things. And after I had graduated from college, I ended up going to Germany to live at a fencing training center there for a year and really train hard.
Oh, wow.
And do a lot of competing, and I learned a tremendous amount there. And then when I returned to Boston and trained there at the Boston Fencing Club, I worked really hard and got better and better. Eventually, I got to fence World Cup events for the United States and World University Games and things like that. So it was a tremendous lot of fun. While I was there, the people who were running the classes asked if I would start a program for children because they'd never had one there. It had always been only adults. And I thought that would be a lot of fun. So I said, yes, I will. And I started with one little five-year-old boy who later became national champion in his age group a few years later. And we went from that one little boy to probably 150 children by the time I was leaving there. And it was a tremendous amount of fun. I learned a lot and really had a good time coaching. So eventually I said, well, enough with this training and competing myself. I will just proceed to be a coach.
Talk a little bit about the history of women in fencing and some of the obstacles that you faced a little bit.
In fencing, traditionally men were allowed to fence all three weapons, but women only fenced foil, which is the lightest of the weapons. And there came a time where women decided they wanted to start fencing the other weapons, and there were some disinterest by some coaches to work with them, certainly. I started as a foil fencer, and then one day my own foil coach was in charge of a big women's epee competition in the Boston area, and she had invited a lot of the top epee fencers, women epee fencers in the country to come to it, and she was worried there wouldn't be enough people there to really satisfy them. So she handed me some epees and said, you're going to compete in this. And I said, well, I don't know anything about it, but okay. And so 6 of the top 8 fencers in the country were there, and I ended up taking 3rd. And so when I went to give her back the epee, she said, keep them. And so then I started training in epee as well. So that's kind of how I broadened a bit. But there were certainly not many women's epee fencers, even fewer saber fencers. It took a long time for them to be accepted, even for the Olympics, for example. Women weren't allowed to fence epee in the Olympics until 1996, which was after my competitive years. And they weren't allowed to fence saber until 2004. So, even being a female coach was something fairly unusual. When I started coaching, there weren't many women who coached, but now it's become fairly commonplace.
Okay. Do you have a favorite of the disciplines?
Oh, I like them all for different reasons. Each one has its own unique quirks to it, I would say, and each one is fun in a different way. Saber's very, very fast and flashy. Epee is very thoughtful, and foil's a little bit of a combination of both. So.
Talk about some of the programming at the Iowa City Fencing Center. So, what's a normal day like, or what's a schedule like there?
I'm not sure there's a normal day, but we have classes and individual lessons as well. So oftentimes during the daytime, people will come in for individual lessons, take off time from work, or college students between classes, or retired people will come in for individual lessons. And then in the late afternoon, early evening, we have group classes, which we separate out children's classes and adult classes. And then after that, we have open fencing practice time where people who have learned at least the basics are coming in and practicing fencing together. And I'm giving individual lessons as well then. So we have those things going on. We also host tournaments fairly regularly, usually about twice a month. We'll have a United States Fencing Association tournament. And we also do other things like birthday parties or corporate outings. Some businesses like to bring over their sales team or whatever and have a fun experience together. So we do a lot of different things like that.
Is your club membership based? How's that work?
There are lots of different ways that people participate. Some people just come in, they take one class a week. They want to get a little exercise, whatever, or just have fun fencing, and so that's all they do. Other people join as members so that they can come in whenever they want to train. So they have that as an option as well. We offer, for people who are members, we also offer footwork classes that are part of their membership, or people can pay $5 to take a class. It's no big deal. So it's not something that you have to invest a lot in order to start up fencing. All you do is pay for the class. We provide all the equipment, so there's no need to be concerned about putting in too much just to try something out. We also offer 2-hour intro to fencing classes, which is kind of a crash course in fencing. And people get to go from, how do you hold this thing to fencing each other in the 2-hour time frame. So that's a lot of fun to introduce people to fencing with that.
So your background is in education, correct?
Yes, I do have a master's degree in education from Harvard University.
Okay, and how does that tie in to you're a coach, has that helped you along the process, at least with the children, or what was your focus?
Yeah, very, very much so. I think it certainly helps to have some knowledge of how things should really be running. Fencing is a very interesting sport, and so there are a lot of things that you have to pay attention to. I mean, it is one of the safest Olympic sports, but it's safe because we follow certain rules, and so there is certainly that aspect that I have to always be aware of with my students, especially the young ones, making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and not creating something unusual. And so, there is that aspect. Certainly, there's a lot of one-on-one work. There's a lot of really getting to know my students. Fencing is a sport that's very interesting in that the coach and the student really develop a very strong relationship together. I sort of feel like my students are all kind of part of my family, and I end up caring about them a tremendous amount, which is good. I think that I grow as well as they do when they are improving and developing, both as fencers and as human beings.
What's the easiest or hardest group or age group to coach? I would think that maybe adults are harder, maybe a little more stubborn.
And not too often. They're usually pretty good about listening to what I have to say. Some people are very coachable. They can listen to what you express, and they'll immediately follow what you're trying to get them to do. And you do occasionally have those stubborn moments when people say, "But I like doing it this way." And the nice thing is that I can show them why that way doesn't work very well. And I can show them maybe 3 or 4 reasons why someone will be able to deal with what they're trying to do very easily. And then kind of the light bulb comes on, and they say, "Oh, all right, now I will try it your way."
Maybe she knows what she's doing.
Right,
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how do people find out about you? Do you do any type of community awareness things, or do people come to you more often, or how's that work?
More often people come to me. A lot of people see us on our website and things like that. We also do some fundraiser intro classes for various charities in the area. So we did one for Habitat for Humanity, one for the Iowa City Public Library, one for the Red Shamrock Foundation. So, various organizations that approach me, or I have a student who's particularly interested in an organization, then we'll try to help them out a bit. So I'll do an intro class, and we'll take the entire proceeds and give it to whatever organization it is that we're sponsoring that day. So.
Is fencing in schools at all as part of physical education at all?
Not in this area, unfortunately. In many other areas it is. You know, if you go to New Jersey, practically every high school has a fencing team. But here, some of the high school students come in and they try to work together as a little club, but they're not allowed to be officially part of the school system.
So what are some fun stories? I know that you've competed in a lot of different things, from World Cups and other things. What are some good stories or some good experiences from that?
Good experiences. Well, I don't know. It's always fun to cross blades with someone from another country. And when you fence with someone, you get to know them a little bit, even without talking. You get to know a lot about their personality, and the kinds of, the way that they behave tells you a lot about them. So one of the fun things about World Cups was going and meeting people from all over the world and fencing with them. So that was always good.
Were those primarily here or around the world?
Oh, no, in
Both?
other countries, not
Okay.
here. Most of the time, most years I had to go probably 5 times to Europe to compete in France or Belgium or Germany or wherever it needed to be done.
So besides the East Coast here, it's really bigger in Europe?
Yes, much bigger, much bigger in Europe. One time I fenced there, and you know, there was a little booth with a man in it, a glass booth, and I said, "What's he doing here?" And the other fencer said, "Oh, he's doing a blow-by-blow account of everything that's going on down here on the strip." And he's a radio announcer. And that's not something we would see in the United States probably for another 150 years or
Right.
so, when more people know about the sport and would be able to listen to it the way they can follow it in Europe, because most people have experienced fencing. And here we listen to baseball or football because people have a lot more experience with those sports.
So how did fencing get started? How did it become a sport? What?
Well, the earliest written record we have of fencing is from a temple in ancient Egypt from 1190 BC, and it shows a picture of 2 fencers, and they're wearing masks. It's very clear that they have weapons that are very blunt at the end, and it looks like there are spectators and maybe a scorekeeper, an official, something like that going. And so we know it was a sport a very long time ago. You know, certainly over time, the fun of it being a sport kind of went away as people were battling each other with swords and shields and things like that, and it wasn't truly fencing until probably in the late 1700s, 1600s, 1700s, when it really kind of redeveloped as a sport. And it became something in the late 1700s, something that was considered a healthful diversion for women. So it was something that ladies could do in their skirts, and they could practice fencing with each other. That's when the mask was reinvented. It was one of the things that were lost from ancient Egypt over, as you know, so many interesting things were. It was reinvented for ladies because they didn't think dueling scars looked so good on them. And eventually the men got smart enough to wear them too, and it really kind of took off as a sport. It was one of the first sports that was put into the modern Olympics because one of the 2 founding fathers was a fencer himself. And it is one of only 2 or 3 sports that have been in every quadrennial of the Olympics since it was founded. Wow. So, yeah.
As far as, is there a website you can direct people to learn more about?
Sure. It's, we have our own website, which is iowacity.fencingcenter.com. There's also usfencing.org, which is the website for the United States Fencing Association, and they have lots of information about fencing as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. It's been really nice talking to you. We're cutting this a little bit short because we had an opportunity to actually go and try it out a little bit. So it was a lot of fun. It's a good way to see how talented Judy is and also how awkward and cumbersome I am trying to fence.
Oh, you did just fine for just a few minutes of training.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. And
my pleasure.
Let's go fence.
All right.
We're here at the Iowa City Fencing Center, and Judy's going to tell us a little bit about some of the different weapons, the scoring, and some of the rules.
All right. So there are 3 different weapons that we use in the sport: foil, epee, and saber. Foil is the lightest of the weapons. It's what we call a point weapon. You have to hit with the end. There's, of course, nothing sharp about it. We like to play with the same person more than once, so nothing sharp with it. But you hit with the end, and the target is the torso. It's the body, not the arms, not the legs, not the head, just the body.
Okay.
For the foil. So there's the foil. Epee is the largest and heaviest of the weapons. It is also what we call a point weapon. You have to hit with the end, but everywhere is target. You can hit on the bottom of the foot, the top of the mask, everywhere in between. So the guard is much larger because it needs to protect the hand a little bit more.
Gotcha.
So that's the epee. And saber is the 3rd weapon. Saber is what we call a cutting weapon. Again, nothing sharp about it, but you mostly hit with the side of the blade.
Okay.
You can also score with the end. It's based on the old cavalry weapon, but we don't have the horse doing the work for us, so it's much lighter than an old cavalry sword would be. And the target is from the waist up, because if you were on horseback, typically they rode against infantry, and you wouldn't throw yourself off your horse trying to hit somebody in the knee, so you hit where you can easily reach, which is from the waist up. It includes the arms, it includes the head, doesn't include the hand, because nobody wants to get whacked on the hand, so there's actually a special guard to protect the knuckles and saber. So those are the 3 different weapons that we use.
Let's see that one.
Yes, sure.
Okay, just for the record and for the camera, I currently have no gaping wounds. This is before we started.
You're not likely to get any gaping wounds. Fencing is one of the safest Olympic sports. You're much more likely to get hurt doing something like something really dangerous like badminton or curling or table tennis, something like that. Those are far more dangerous sports. Fencing, they've figured out everything that can go wrong when they have something that you wear to protect you, and so it is a very safe sport.
Sounds good. Show me some moves.
Sure. We're going to do this, and you're going to bring your weapon up to your face. Go down like that. There you go. We always salute our opponent before we start, and then we would salute our official. We would give the audience a salute too, and then we'd be ready to start. All right. So go ahead and put your mask on now. There we go. And we're going to stand like this. That's about it. We're going to just move your hand over here a little bit, and you're going to take your thumb. You're going to put your thumb on top here like this.
Okay.
There we go. And then here. And then nice and light and loose. What you're going to do to make a hit is you're going to stretch forward with your arm, and you're just going to squeeze with your fingers. This is going to be much, much lighter. You want to feel like you're holding a bird in your hand.
Oh, okay.
It's light enough, you don't want to squeeze it to death, and you don't want it to fly away, so just barely hold on to it.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. And then when you want to cut, you reach forward and squeeze your fingers, and it'll come down. That's right, and you extend your arm as you do it. That's it, good. There you go. All right, so let's go ahead and have you cut right to there. That's it. No wind up though, just go right to the target. That's it. That's it. Nice little. Right, there you go. And then fencers move forward and back. So you might want to come forward. That's it. Right. Yep.
Jump, you run.
Yeah. Oh, we move with special little movements. We dances and retreats.
Everybody can dance.
That's right. That's right. We also use something called a lunge. When we lunge here, we step out like this. We straighten our back leg, so we end up in this position, and then recover here. Most of the time we lunge when we're trying to actually hit somebody.
Okay.
All right? Okay.
So with this one, you can hit people anywhere?
Hit from the waist on up.
Okay.
You can hit the arms, you can hit the head. Go ahead and hit me on the head.
This seems weird.
It's all right. By the way, good. Just want to reach forward, just like that, right?
How's it feel?
No big deal. Right, exactly. It's the only class you get to hit the teacher, and you might as well enjoy, right? All right, so go ahead and do that again. That's it, but don't wind up for you.
Don't
You're kind of
wind up.
showing me that it's coming. Don't show me.
Okay, so just a quick-
just go there. Right, exactly.
Okay.
That's it, good. Now to defend, you're going to move across your body. That's right. You're just going to take your hand from here and bring it across this way. Keep your hand up like that. And there you're safe, right? If I come over here, you close that. And if I come this way, turn it right back. That's it. Good. Beautiful. Those are called parries. It's a parry when you defend yourself. Like
Okay.
that. Right. And then, if I'm coming up to your head, you're going to take your hand and move it right on up like that. You can check yourself there.
Squeeze this thing.
Right up here. There we go. Right. Exactly. So here, you're going to be on your in your regular on guard position, and then go on up a little bit higher because I'm going to get right through that. So raise your hand a little bit more. There you go. Beautiful. After you defend, it's your turn to go. So you want to try to hit me. That's That's right. Anywhere that's a target is fine. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so here we go. And repost. That's what we call it when you hit afterwards.
Oh, you repost?
Right? Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so parry and repost. Go ahead and hit me. That's it, right. Now, a fencer wouldn't have to let you hit them.
Yes.
So say, if I went here, and then you came, I might parry you, come in, and then go somewhere else, right? Nice and simple
This is
like
going to
that.
get ugly early.
Oh, not at all.
Oh, wait. Oh,
That's it. Oh, that's right. Good job. Beautiful. Beautiful. So you found ways to do that. Now, fencers move up and down this strip. It's 14 meters long and 1.5 meters wide.
Okay.
So if I were attacking you, I'd be moving forward. You'd be moving backwards. You'd be moving backwards, trying to stay out of my reach. And then, well, it's all right. You've defended yourself, so now it's your turn to come get me.
What if you lose a point if you step off of the...
If you step off the side of the strip, they call a halt, and you would have to move back 1 meter. So you would lose 1 meter of ground. You'd have to move back, and then they'd start you up again.
So is one of the goals to just get somebody to fall off
If you go all the way off the end, it counts as a point for your opponent.
Okay.
That goes back to old dueling days, where they used to draw lines on the edges of the dueling grounds. If you retreated beyond that, it counted as though you'd been hit.
Gotcha.
So. All right, so you're going to come ahead and attack me. You're going to move forward towards me. That's it, good. And anytime you feel like you can, there you go. Oh, all right, good.
I'm getting schooled here.
There you go.
Like this?
All your fingers on the other side. There you go. And your thumb. That's right. So you just, yeah. So it fits very naturally in your hand, just like that. And your thumb and your forefinger are going to control. You're going to keep your thumb opposite your forefinger, and they're going to control the movement up and down and side to side. Just like that. This is a point weapon, so you have to.
So it has to be a.
Right. So it has to be a thrust, right? All right. So you're going to hold that here. You're going to leave your elbow forward in front of your body. That's it. Good. Keep your feet at 90 degrees. Bend those knees. The bent knees give you lots of power and speed. We're going to do something called closing the line, which means just moving your hand over here. That keeps you from being able to hit you on this side of your body.
Okay.
There you go. All right, so now you're just going to reach out and hit me. That's it. Beautiful.
Does it hurt?
No, not at all. Here.
Yeah.
There, see?
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Not at all. They are very flexible blades. So you really, that's right. It doesn't bother you at all.
And then with this, where are you supposed to, is it just chest?
The target is anywhere in the torso.
Okay.
So it could be anywhere in your jacket except for the arms.
So no arms, just
right,
anywhere.
but everywhere
here,
else
and
in
no
the
head
jacket.
or
Right,
anything
exactly. Exactly.
So
If I twisted my back like this, you could hit me on the back.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm not allowed to turn my back to you, but there's certainly
no
targets.
protection back there.
Oh, there's some.
Yeah.
There's some, but you wouldn't really
Right,
be in that kind of
exactly.
position because we spend our time moving back and forth like
So this seems harder to defend.
Not really. You can do the same sort of action. You can go across your body like this to defend.
Okay.
That's a nice simple one. Another one is simply to drop your tip and go around like that. And that kind of catches the blade as it comes in. So if I were coming in here...
That one's above my skill level.
No, not at all. There you go. That's all you have to do, just like that. You go underneath the blade and push it away. And there you are. You protected yourself.
Whoa.
Yep. There you go. And after you've parried, you come in and hit.
Okay.
That's called the repost. There you go. That's it. That's the idea. And go ahead and come on in and hit. There, that's it. Easy enough, right? Yeah, that's a little big for your parry. You don't want to kind of use all your arm. You're just going to use your hand here.
Fancy my own move.
That's all right. Now you've got my blade. It's time for you to come get me. Oh, you didn't get me though. Better do something about that. There you go. Beautiful touch. That's it. All right. If I'm coming forward after you, you might want to keep moving now. Right? Okay, you've defended yourself. Come on and get me. You've got lots of space still.
Is it defined when you've defended yourself or just whenever?
Well, when you've blocked my blade from hitting you, so when
okay.
you made a parry successfully, then it's your turn to go.
Oh, okay.
Or if
that's right.
Right, same as in Saber, right. Or if I fell short, if I attacked and I didn't reach you, that's just as good as you're defending me. So that makes it your turn to go. So come get me.
I'm going?
Yes, your turn, your turn. Yes, now you parried, so it's your turn again. That way. All right. Good touch, very nice. All right, excellent, excellent. All right, so here's the epee. hold that just the way you did the foil. You're going to keep your blade kind of parallel to the ground. In épée, we want to make sure that our opponent doesn't get hold of our blade. If they get hold of it, they tend to hit us.
Okay. So in épée, tell me again where we
You can
score.
hit anywhere on the body. You can hit from the bottom of the foot to the top of the mast, everywhere in between. Everything is target.
Oh.
There's no right of way, so whoever hits first scores. If both people hit at the same time, both people score.
It's just a free-for-all, huh?
Right. At the same time, meaning within 1/25th of a second, the scoring machine tells you whether or not you've hit in that time frame or not. So very much at the same time. All right. So step up on the strip here. And get to it.
You always start behind here?
Yes, you start from behind your guard lines. You ready?
Yep.
Fence.
And so this one can be a point, it can be anything?
No, you do have to hit with the end.
Oh,
You have
this
to hit
one,
with a
okay.
point, yes. But you can hit anywhere. So I can come down here with those nice shoes of yours, or I can come up and hit you on the arm like that. So there I hit the arm well before you hit me.
Yeah.
So my touch would score and yours wouldn't.
Okay.
So you always want to go for the nearest target. We really try to hit up here a lot more than we try to go deep to the body.
Okay.
Because this was a much earlier touch.
So you can hit my bare hand too?
I could, but you're going to keep that back out of the way. Right.
Sounds good. This is a warning.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
Bet. Almost.
You got me
Almost.
first.
You hit with the side, though. You have to hit with the end. All right. So just reach forward. And there's no right of way here, so you can go ahead anytime. Like if you're stepping forward towards me, that's a really good time for me to make an impact.
Well, maybe I'm scared.
There you go. Oh, you're not scared of this. It's a good safe sport. Ready? Fence. Good try. That's it. Good touch. Very nice.
So after every point, do you reset?
Yes, after every time somebody scores, you go back to your own guard lines. Yes. Ready?
Yep.
Fence. There, good touch. That's it.
So I notice you're not scared at all because your hand is just hanging out here like this.
Oh yeah, I'm just nice and relaxed here. Ready?
Yep.
Fence.
Go.
I've been doing this a little longer than you have.
Yeah.
Ready? Fence. Almost, but it wasn't quite with the end.
Oh, it wasn't the point.
Right. Almost, that was too
So you
right.
probably don't
Yeah,
get
just
too
a
many
little
body
bit of it.
shots because the other person can hit your arm.
Right, right. So if you want to go for the body, usually what you'll do is grab hold of the blade on the way in, right? And so I can take control of your blade right now. You've got control of mine because you have the strong part of your blade
Okay.
on the weak part of mine. But if that changed and where it's here, there's nothing you can do about that,
Oh,
right? 'Cause
gotcha.
I'm controlling with leverage. Fencing is not a sport of strength. It's a sport of using leverage and finesse and wits.
Okay,
To
so I'm
outwit your
not
opponent.
going to
Right.
win this one.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, look at that.
There you go, you got my blade. Come on in, hit. That's right. That's
Pretty
how you
sloppy,
do it.
pretty sloppy.
Yeah, it's all right. You've been fencing for what, all of 20 minutes now? 3 different weapons already? Ready?
Yep.
Fence. All right.
I've had enough. I've met my match.
All right, so now we're going to go back behind our lines and we give each other a salute when we finished. And we also shake our non-weapon arm. We shake hands and we say thank you to each other.
Thank you. Judy, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
We're here at the Iowa City Fencing Center. It's been a lot of fun, a good workout. As you can see, I'm sweating and a little short on breath. But my name is Brian McConnell. I've been your host on Live and Local. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. for a new episode of Live and Local.